Oh. All right, guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are having I am Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School, and I am driving to the airport. So if I do something that looks kind of crazy, just know it's because I am trying to control this car and be safe while I drive. Now, the thing is, I've got this thing that's supposed to hold my phone, and I don't like what it's doing. It's not doing a very good job, so I'm gonna try this other one here. So give me 1 second, guys. I'll get set up. We're going to talk a little bit about something that I saw this morning. I just woke about an hour ago, and I saw a really surprising and somewhat disappointing media report about Jay-Z, and there had been all this conversation about Jay-Z being an owner in the NFL, and it turns out that's just not true. It turns out that it was kind of the big fake news, and it's it's kind of interesting, right? It's interesting because for a number of reasons. One is, it's interesting because you wonder, like, where did the rumor start in the first place? Like, who was the person spreading this rumor? Like, that's what I'd like to know. And why were they spreading this rumor? And then two, when the rumor first came out, why did Jay-Z not go out of his way to refute the rumor? It wasn't like of all of this, right? In fact, for some people, it changed their opinion about the plan, about Jay-Z. Like, they kind of said, okay, he's not going in there just to be used or just to be a corporate mascot, little black soldier boy. He was actually going to, get some sort of long-term economic benefit that resulted in NFL team ownership. Now, let's just be clear. I don't think, NFL team ownership is that big of a deal other than the monetary value. I kind of think that we as black people lack vision when it comes to the fact that we as a community possess influence over the greatest athletes on the planet. So if we wanted our own sports league, we could do that. If you took the top 40 black celebrities and they all on their social media accounts promoted every game every week, then that would be bigger than CBS, NBC, ABC, CNN, or any other television network in the world. Like literally, we could develop the infrastructure for a sports league, but that's another conversation, But Dr. Claude Anderson broke that down for y'all yesterday on drboycetv.com. Dr. Claude Anderson was talking about that, and he was talking about the days of the Negro Leagues and what it was like to actually own something. If black people owned the NFL, then there wouldn't be a whole Jay-Z versus Kaepernick situation. It would be one of those situations where, okay, two guys don't see eye to eye, but it's not a matter of one guy being the bad guy, one guy being the good guy, And so, anyway, I think that, first of all, this was kind of surprising. I wonder if it was strategic. Like, I wonder if this information was released to the public to take the pressure off Jay-Z. Faye Bishop, who's on my Instagram, she's very active, very smart black lady. She was actually saying that, she believes that the whole ownership story was designed to make people get a sense of, false black pride. Like, fake black pride is far more prevalent than actual real pride over real things that actually really matter. We get excited when we see one black person get, some big opportunity. We feel like it affects all of us, even though it doesn't. Even though, Jay-Z's made, his hundreds of millions of dollars, his $1 billion net worth. But, I think that we've got to start, sort of looking at a different standard of black success. If you tell me you're a successful black man or successful black woman, then show me how many black people, I'm talking about hundreds of black people, who have benefited in a direct way in their lives because of your success, right? So, if Jay-Z and Kaepernick, think about this. The reason I don't put a lot of stock into being concerned about how this turns out for Jay-Z or Kaepernick is because both of these guys have more money than most of us will ever have in our lives. Tell me, have you ever opened up your bank account and saw a balance of $12,487,542.19? Have you ever done that? Have you ever looked in your bank account and saw $12 million in your bank account. Like, that's what these guys get to do. They get to do things like they get to say, oh, I've got 12 million in my checking and 25 million in my investment portfolio, right? And that's if they're not managing their money properly. That's if they're not saving and investing, the bulk of their wealth. And so ultimately, these guys live a different life. And to me, the question of whether or not you're a successful black man has to evolve. It has to be one that says, how many can I go to the hood and find, 50 businesses that employ 1,000 people or whatever, 500 people, whatever the number is, that were created by you, for the community. How can I go and show me your schools, show me, where you have 2 schools in 10 different cities, and each of the schools that are run by you, funded by you, are educating thousands of black children so that the masses benefit. You see, the point I'm making is that you must distinguish between the success of the elite and the success of the masses. That's a distinction people fail to make all around the globe. That's why you can go to Nigeria and you'll find wealthy people at the top, but you'll find a lot of poverty at the bottom. And a lot of people spend their time worshiping the elite. You go to London, you have people worshiping the Queen of England and the royal family, and some of these people aren't doing very well themselves. The success and the wealth of the royal family does not trickle down to the masses. So Beyonce and Jay-Z, people like that, they're really kind of your royal family. The Carters, Will Smith, Will and Jada Smith, and then the Obamas. Those are 3 examples of royal families in the black community where we kind of feel like they can do no wrong. And I'm not saying that they're bad people. I don't think that they are. But I think that, when I saw, Barack Obama and Michelle, that they started a production company, and I was looking at the roster of films that they were putting out, and they put out a film about, a Chinese billionaire buying a factory in Ohio or something. They put out another film that had to do with, I think it was something related to feminism or something. Another thing having to do with the environment. It was stuff like that. Very Democratic Party, white liberal issues. And I said, I just kind of tweeted at Barack and Michelle, and I said, I respectfully hope that you will also make a film about the fact that 45% of all the black males in Chicago, the city that you came from, do not have a job and are not in school. 45% of the black males between 20 and 24 do not have income, and they do not have education. That is a crisis, and that affects the people that love you the most. Black people have to come first for black people. That's really, I think, the basic standard, the basic question we must ask is why aren't black people put first by the celebrities that you love the most? And we tend to worship celebrities as a community. Nielsen reports actually show, I'm going to bring in Dr. Tommy Whitler, who's a professor at DePaul University. He's one of the leading experts on consumer behavior, like what makes people buy products. And one of the things that he and I were discussing is that according to Nielsen, black people, Nielsen ratings, and all that, and their analysis on the black community, they found that black people are more influenced by celebrities than any other group of people. They said, if you want to sell laundry detergent, just get a celebrity to say, I use that detergent. If you want to sell overpriced sneakers, just get a celebrity to say, I buy these sneakers too. And black people will do that. And it's linked to this weird self-esteem thing, like I ain't shit, but when he wins, I'm winning. When Jay-Z's winning, I'm winning. No, that's not true. When you're winning, you're winning. When Jay-Z's winning, Jay-Z's winning. When Jay-Z's winning, Blue Ivy's winning. Jay-Z's winning, Beyonce's winning, but you ain't winning when Jay-Z's winning. You get, it's okay. It doesn't make Jay-Z a bad person, but it does kind of say, that celebrities, we have to have a different standard. So when Jay-Z was brought into this NFL partnership, I didn't really have a big issue with it, honestly. And, in the sense that, I was kind of like, well, Kaepernick was waiting on getting, he was trying to get a deal with the NFL. Jay-Z just got a deal first, right? If Kaepernick had got the deal and Jay-Z hadn't got the deal, then, we'd be cheering for that. We'd be like, oh, Kaepernick got a deal. He got his job back. Like, again, false correlation. Like, you really think that Kaepernick getting a motherfucking job means that your life is going to be better? Like, y'all tell me yes or no. If Kaepernick got a job tomorrow, would that change your life on any significant level? Like, would somebody come and pay your bills tomorrow? Would your children be smarter and more educated? Would your hood be safer? Like, tell me yes or no. Like, if Kaepernick got a job tomorrow, would your life be any different? Would it? I know my life wouldn't be different. My life is affected by what I do every day. My kids in the house eat because I pay because I go to the grocery store, right? They get educated because me and their mother make sure that they read every day. Like that. Kaepernick getting a job, Jay-Z getting an endorsement deal, has nothing to do with my life. It's only entertainment. It's only spectacle. So I think that when we get all riled up about it, because I've had people get mad at me. Like I have people come in legit like Boyce, Dr. Boyce, you just a punk, man. You just a blah blah blah, and you keep flip flopping, doc. Well, I don't know what the fuck wrong with you, man. You what fuck nigga. You know, like seriously, people coming in talking crazy like that, and I'm just kind of like, why? Like, why are you gonna fight me over some shit that ain't gonna benefit your life at all? Like, you're literally not going to get any of this money. Like, this literally is not your deal. Maybe if you spend time thinking about your own money moves and not all of your time, thinking about Jay-Z's money moves and acting like that's yours. Like, yeah, me and Jay just made a deal with the NFL. No, Jay made a deal with the NFL. Get your paper up, get your situation right. Go hustle in your own life. You are the superstar and the center of attention in your universe, not some celebrity. So I think the celebrities, I think it's fine to talk about it. It's interesting stuff. You can learn from it, but you must understand the difference between reality and fiction. And the life of Jay-Z, the life of Kaepernick for you is fiction. It's not something that has a real impact on your existence. Kaepernick getting a job is not going to stop black men from being shot in the street by the police. I don't know a single police officer who wants to kill black people who says, I'm going to stop doing it because Colin Kaepernick got on his knees. I just don't know. I don't know anybody who says they're going to change, government policy or a judge who says I'm going to lock up fewer black people because Colin Kaepernick got on his knees or Jay-Z got an endorsement deal with the NFL. So, the thing is with Jay and this ownership piece that is fascinating to me is I really just want to know, who leaked this information? Who was the person that went out and made a point? This is not something that just comes out of the air. This isn't something that people just make up. Somebody made it up, but they did it, I think, deliberately because it's not true. It's not real information. So somebody made it up. I wonder if it was strategic. I wonder if it, because to Faye Bishop's point, it Faye's on my Instagram, the real Boyce Watkins. If in case you ever want to go over there and hang out, I piss people off on a daily basis on my Instagram. It's kind of what I guess ends up happening. But anyway, Faye made that point, and I was like, that's interesting. She was basically saying that the ownership story was leaked to take the heat off of Jay because a lot of people felt like he was a sellout for making this deal with the NFL in the first place. And I thought about it, and I said, if you think about it, the trajectory of thought that occurred after Jay-Z took the deal, the trajectory was, oh man, you did Cap wrong, man. How you gonna do that, man? That ain't right, man. Oh, but wait, he's gonna be an owner. He playing chess, dog. He ain't playing checkers, man. He playing the big game. Now he's gonna have his long-term win. Like this is, it made things better. Like it made him not look like a sap. It made him not look like a sucker. Irv Gotti, actually, I don't even know the relationship between Jay-Z and Irv Gotti. I'm sure they have a rivalry and a beef and all that from back in the day. Irv Gotti he used to run that record label where they remember they used to make all those Ja Rule and Ashanti songs over and over and over again. Like it was the same song that would come out like every, where would you be without my baby? Y'all remember that? Yeah, and they were all hits and they would just keep making the same song repeatedly. Anyway, Irv Gotti made the point that he said that, that the NFL, was sort of the puppet master behind this. Like they Murder Inc. Thank you for correcting me on that. I don't want to disrespect Irv Gotti's. I certainly don't want to disrespect a company called Murder Inc. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all remember those damn Ja Rule Ashanti songs. Every time that shit came on the radio, I had to turn it off. I couldn't take it. I was like, I heard this song a year ago. Stop it. You're hurting me. But anyway, but Irv Gotti made a good point. Irv Gotti basically said, he said that the NFL is kind of like the puppet master in this thing. They got Jay-Z out here looking crazy and stupid, and Roger Goodell was just sitting there. Now if you look at the press conference, right? Roger Goodell wasn't saying shit. Jay-Z did all the talking. Well, look, like what's the point? Like, why are we doing this? Like, what was the original reason? Like, well, let me ask you a question. Like it was real interesting to watch Jay-Z really working overtime, talking with his hands to try to explain, trying to mansplain his way out of what looked like a really ridiculous deal. And it was like, Roger Goodell being strategic, just sort of sat back and said, I'm going to let the overseer explain to the other Negroes on the plantation why this is a good partnership. I'm going to let him, he's the Negro whisperer right now. He's the one that they listen to. He's the one that influences them, because they study this shit. They didn't pick Jay out of the blue. They picked him because they said, well, we need to, if we can form a partnership with this guy, it will really help us on the PR front, because we will be able to significantly influence. Money is the ultimate influencer. Money is the ultimate, being financially tied to somebody is worse than being pussy whipped. Like, it's 100 times worse than that. Or dickmatized. Y'all heard people talk about sex where somebody's dickmatized or pussy whipped. Well, money is the ultimate pussy whip, because basically when you form these financial partnerships, you're going to be real hesitant to join in any group of people that criticizes the hand that feeds you, right? You're just not going to do that. Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson, God bless them both, but the mistake that they would make, or I don't even know if it was a mistake, maybe that's what it was. What they basically did was, their job in many cases, unfortunately, was to squash movements and to squash criticism. When the people get really riled up and everything gets kind of crazy and out of control. Like, I'll give you a personal example. Lil Wayne had made a song about Emmett Till, or he made a lyric about Emmett Till, and he was very disrespectful toward Emmett Till. And I wrote, and basically I was pissed off about it, but Lil Wayne wasn't listening to anybody. He wasn't listening, certainly wasn't listening to me. So what we did was we went after Mountain Dew. This is 2013. You can go Google it if you want to. And basically, to deal with it, what I did was I said, I'm going to poke at Mountain Dew. And I saw where they put out this commercial. They gave me the perfect opportunity. They put out this commercial that was incredibly racist. It was basically a white woman in with a police lineup with a bunch of black men, and she was deciding which black men must have raped her or whatever. And it was just some real fucked up shit. It was terrible. And anyway, so I wrote an article, and basically I said, this is Mountain Dew just released the most racist commercial ever. And lo and behold, I put the article out at 10:30 at night. By the next morning, it had been read by 50,000 people, and then by 10 o'clock, it had been read by 100,000 people. And then by noon, it had been picked up by the Associated Press, and it was all over the globe. And literally, even my white friends that I hadn't talked to since elementary school were messaging me like, I saw your article today in USA Today. Like, what is that? What's going on? Right? So Mountain Dew started feeling the heat. Mountain Dew started feeling pressure, because basically they put out this racist commercial. So what I did was I changed the article, right? I kept adding things to it throughout the day, because with a blog post you can do that. It's like a living document. So I basically then started really talking about Lil Wayne and that endorsement deal, and I said, here's what your brand is associated with. Here are some of his lyrics. I'm not even going to give you my opinion. I'm just going to share some of his lyrics so that you know what you're getting in bed with. When you get in bed with a guy that, unfortunately, he was misguided. He doesn't use his power, his talent for good. He's using it to destroy his own people and to really push a message that I don't even know if you want that to be consistent with your brand. So I shared the lyrics, and lo and behold, Mountain Dew started feeling the heat, and eventually they killed off Lil Wayne's endorsement deal. And there were some casualties of, not casualties of war, but what do they call it? Collateral damage that I didn't intend. Like Tyler the Creator lost his deal also, because that's what they do. That's what these white folks do. Like when they decide that they're scared of one black person, they're like, okay, let's clear all the Negroes out of the building. Let's get rid of all these black guys, because they don't know the difference between the good ones and the bad ones. So they killed off Tyler the Creator's deal. I think T.I. was attached to that deal, and I felt bad about that because I like T.I. a lot. And back then he wasn't as much of an activist, but I still like him. He was one of my favorite rappers. But either way, though, I couldn't back off of the charge, because what Lil Wayne said about Emmett Till was unbelievably disrespectful. And my thought is, if you want to go make your money as an entertainer, go get your money, go do your thing. I'm not going to ask you to do nothing for your community. You can go through life not giving a shit about black people. I'm not even gonna give you a hard time about that. Fine. I mean, join the club. Don't nobody give a shit about black people except for the real ones, like the smart ones, the real ones, the strong ones. We fight for the people the rest, everybody else, you know, they go get on bandwagons and join this white supremacy thing because that seems to be the winning team, right? Like, you know, like white supremacy is the Golden State Warriors, and black people, you know, the black community, we're kind of like the New York Knicks. We got a lot of potential, but we ain't winning no games just yet. But we're gonna win games. We just got to get our shit together. So anyway, when that thing went down, one of the first things that happened, and this really tripped me out, I got a call from Emmett Till's family representative, and you know, and I'm like, yeah, we did it. We you know, we got them to pay attention. We got this issue, you know, out there. We dealt with this, and I was happy about it. And she's like, oh, Al Sharpton is going to get involved now. He's going to go meet with PepsiCo. And I was like, well, what does Al Sharpton have to do with any of this? Al Sharpton wasn't here when we started this conversation. Al Sharpton ain't said nothing about it until we made it into an issue. Like, how did Al Sharpton get into the, make some sort of deal with them behind closed doors, and then everything is done? It's over. It's like, okay, we paid off the appropriate Negro, and now we can go back to business as usual. There's no issue anymore. There's nothing to see here, folks. And that, it was sort of my experience close up in terms of seeing how these shakedowns work. Basically, when a white corporation gets into trouble with, you know, with you know, black people on an issue of race, they always sit in a room and say, okay, which Negro do we got to go pay in order to make this go away? So what the person they will look for is a person who is influential. So when Jay-Z came in, when Jay-Z stepped in and said, I'll make a deal with you, I'll take your money, then they said, thank white Jesus, because this man is going to save us. He's going to save our street. We still going to have young black men going out here risking brain damage and getting paralyzed to come out here and entertain us. We don't have to make them owners in the league. Have you ever, I'm gonna ask you this, answer this question, yes or no? Can anybody name a single black man or woman who is a majority owner in the NFL? Can you name any black man or woman who is a majority team owner in the NFL? Name one. I'll wait. Yes or no? Can you name one black person who's a majority team owner? Right. Exactly. There are none. There are none. So you must ask yourself that question, right? Like what makes them feel comfortable getting away with that? Like how pathetic must black people be for us to believe that we can form a productive partnership with a league that feels that they can discriminate more than the Ku Klux Klan when it comes to keeping black people out of the owner's box. The Ku Klux Klan probably has more black owners than the NFL. At least right now, they neck and neck. They're neck and neck. If you look at majority ownership of black people in the NFL, and you look at majority ownership of franchises in the KKK, the numbers are identical. There's a tie. You tied with the Ku Klux Klan. So why in the world do we even delude ourselves into believing that somehow we can have a productive partnership with a league that doesn't even respect us enough to allow people that look like us to be owners in that league? You know, I mean, you know, to the NBA's credit, the NBA gets it. The NBA has been, I mean, you know what, big props to, is it Adam Sterling? Is that his name? There was David Stern. I think it's Adam Sterling. Big props to Adam Sterling because he gets it. You know, they've made the NBA into a players' league. The players are making lots of money. They're getting opportunities to coach, to own. Now, Mark Jackson at the Warriors, I see some of y'all mentioning Mark Jackson being blackballed. I don't agree with that. And I think that's over some old homophobia type stuff. I think Mark Jackson is a great coach and he did a great job, and I wish he would get a position in the NBA. But that goes back to what Dr. Anderson was talking to y'all about yesterday. You know, black people, you got trillions of dollars in your community. You can actually have your own league. It doesn't mean it has to be black only. It doesn't mean only black people can play in it, but it does mean that the original foundation of the ownership can start out of our community, which naturally is going to imply that we're going to be the base of power. Like, Hollywood does not have a sign that says only Jewish people allowed. But Jewish people have a tremendous amount of influence in Hollywood, because when the Big Bang occurred, they created Hollywood. When the big economic bang of Hollywood first came into being, they put Jewish people in the center of that big bang. It's like how the Big Bang in outer space happened. There was like hydrogen and helium and whatever, some basic elements that were part of the original Big Bang. So the universe is filled with those elements, because when you're there at the core, when you're there when it all began, when you're there at the foundation of something, then who you are, the essence of you, is going to permeate all throughout the existence of that thing forever. Right? So, it's like hip hop. There's no rule saying only black people can be rappers, only black people can break dance. But because we were there during the inception at the Big Bang, then we are the ones who are still the drivers in terms of the cultural and creative influence. Now, not the ownership now, but in terms of who people watch, who people learn from, who the best rappers are, a lot of that comes out of our community, right? So my point is to say that, I'm looking for a Big Bang. I'm looking for some real progress here. I'm not looking for us chipping our way into an overpriced seat at the white man's table. If Jay-Z did become a team owner, if Jay-Z did get a chance to own, 20% of the Buffalo Bills or whatever bullshit that is, right, and pay, $500 million for a seat at that table, that doesn't mean anything to me. I don't care. That's not real progress. You're coming in late, man. That still ain't your league for real. I mean, you're gonna have to pay trillions to get to really make progress on that. So, my thought is, why not start our own? We've got the talent, we've got the money, we've got the marketing. All you need to mass produce something for the masses is you need three things. You need production, distribution, and monetization. You need the ability to produce the product, the ability to distribute the product through, to the market, and the ability to monetize on the back end. So why can't, Jay-Z and a bunch of, his millionaire friends, get maybe your top 100 richest friends, to all invest at least $2 or $3 million or whatever, and create a league with 10 teams, and all agree that we're going to promote these teams on our social media. That every week when there's a game, we're going to do like Ice Cube is doing with his Instagram account. If you follow Ice Cube on Instagram, Ice Cube's always promoting the big three on the gram. Why? Well, because Ice Cube's got about 14 million, if I'm not mistaken, about 14 million Instagram followers. Well, a primetime television show on CBS, ABC, or NBC is lucky and happy when they have 14 million viewers on an episode. 14 million viewers is a big deal for a lot of these networks. So you've got black celebrities right now who have 50 million Instagram and Twitter followers. They've got tens of millions of followers on YouTube, tens of millions of followers on Facebook. Why not just have all these celebrities agree, we're going to promote this stuff on our social media? We'll all be owners. We'll promote it, we'll promote this, maybe we'll even offer shares of stock to the public so that the public can be owners if they want to be. And we're going to every week commit our social media to, instead of posting stupid selfies of us on the beach, holding a bottle of fucking Cristal and shit, or promoting Louis Vuitton so that the Louis Vuitton owner can be insanely wealthy. The Louis Vuitton owner just announced that he's now worth over $100 billion. But show me some black people that are worth over $100 billion. The Louis Vuitton owner is he's like, thank you, Negroes. Thank you, rappers, for all the free advertising. Thank you, you idiots. I appreciate you, because without you, I couldn't have done any of this. Without you, I wouldn't be worth $100 billion. And so instead of letting other people just get rich from us, or somehow, boosting companies that have nothing to do with us, why not have companies that literally come from us, that literally come from our womb, so to speak, our economic womb, the economic womb of the black community? Like, black people invented this, created this, thousands of black people are owners in this thing, and we're all promoting this thing because that money's creating jobs in the hood, jobs in the black community. We are no longer, we're going to be smarter. Black people are going to be smarter and more critical than we were before. I'm a thorn in the side of a lot of people because I'm not a stupid person, and I understand money and wealth better than 99.9% of all financial experts on this planet. So ultimately, what I'm challenging people to do is step your game up in terms of understanding what black power really looks like. Step your game up in terms of how you criticize, how you critically analyze, not criticize, critically analyze, what celebrities are doing and whether or not the hood benefits. Step your game up when you're talking about what it means to truly control and own something. Step your game up and ask yourself little things like, when Russell Wilson and his wife Sierra signed that deal with Creative Arts Agency, why was it that in the picture they took, in their selfie, it was 2 black people and about 50 white people? Why is it that when black people are broke as fuck, they surrounded by black people? When they broke as hell, they like, oh, you can stay in the hood, nigga. We don't really want nothing to do with you. Like when they're broke, we get them, right? But when they start balling and they start doing well and they hit the top of the world, then suddenly they're surrounded by people that don't look like us. I don't understand that. I just don't. I never understood it. It seems stupid to me. It seems weird. It's like, is that an upgrade for you? Like, what's happening now? Like, why is it that when the asset when the human capital becomes valuable, they control it, but when the human capital is worthless, they give it back to us? When the guys in the NFL and the NBA making $20 million a year, suddenly he's surrounded by Chad and Brad and Becky and Susie. But when when his dumb ass can't play no more and he done spent all his money, he's broke as hell, he's back in the hood surrounded by Big Mama and Cousin Ray Ray and and everybody else. Well, no, we don't want that. We don't want, we don't want the leftovers. Like, we want the premium, creme de la creme. We want the cream of the crop. We want to be connected to the people that are making $100 million a year, and we want to advise them and counsel them. They should be sitting down with people like Farrakhan, the same way Jewish celebrities sitting down with the head of the synagogue. They should be sitting down with Dr. Claude Anderson, or even sitting down with me. If they wanted to sit down with me, I advise a few athletes and a few entertainers periodically, but they should be sitting down with people that can say, look, man, oh my God, you have $40 million in excess cash in your bank account and you're looking for a place to make that money grow. You want to flip your money? No, don't flip it investing in Uber or that white boy company from Silicon Valley. Let's go back to the hood. Let's hold a pitch competition. Let's go back to your people. Okay, you say you want to help your niggas, like that's what, I want to help my niggas. Okay, let's go back to your niggas. If that's what you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. If you want to have this for your people, strictly for your people, like I had an album called Strictly for My Blank. I'm not gonna say it again because I don't want to offend anybody, but y'all remember that album. Like, if it's strictly for your people, strictly for the people that love you, strictly for your blank, then let's go back to the hood. And what we're gonna do is this. Here's what we're gonna do. Jay-Z, whoever, Steph Curry, whatever. Okay, Steph Curry, pulling in $4 million a month in income or some crazy number like that. You got money to burn. You are loaded with cash. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this money, we're going to go back, we're going to pick one hood to start with, and we're going to go to that hood, and I want you to give me 6 months to incubate black wealth builders and job creators. Like, I want you to give me 6 months. Let's take a budget. Let's take about $2 million. Go to this hood. We're gonna build a state-of-the-art facility. We're gonna hire no more than maybe 10 people initially who are really, really good at training other people on entrepreneurship, on investing, on real estate ownership, etc. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go out into the hood and get all this $1 billion in excess human capital that's wasted, $1 billion in wasted labor, that's from all these young brothers out here that are hustlers, that want to work hard, that want to succeed, but they're wasting their time because the best thing they can do is get a job at Wendy's, or they're wasting their time because somebody told them they're supposed to be out in the street, or they're wasting their time sitting at home in their drawers, smoking weed, playing Xbox in their mama's basement. Let's go get these guys and let's let them know that we've got some stuff here where we will incentivize them. We will even pay you to come in and get training on how to make money, how to be a money maker. We're going to really break it down for you in whatever by any means necessary, with the basics on exactly how to start a business, how to run an organization, how to hire people, how to delegate labor, how to structure your company to last long after your death, to maximize job creation, to obtain capital, to build an economy in your community, all these things, how to manage your team, all this stuff. And we're going to train them at a very high level with the same rigor that we train them on how to run a West Coast offense in football, or how to run the 44 blast on the offensive side, or how to deal with a double team on the basketball court. We're going to be as hard with them as their basketball coach was to teach them how to dribble basketballs for white people. We're going to be as hard on them as their football coach was when he was teaching them how to do 2-a-day practices in 100-degree heat in the summertime, so they can possibly get that 0.1% chance to get to the NFL. So what we're going to do is we're going to produce some economic superstars. So after that's done, after about a 6-month period, I will have trained about maybe 1,000, maybe 500 to 1,000 young brothers and sisters, young people with a lot of energy and a lot of intellect to run strong organizations. Then we're going to give them the ability and the time to set up business ideas, bring them together. They're going to form teams, and they're going to come up with business concepts that we think will work. They will also get mentorship. I'm going to bring OGs in the community who will come there, and they help guide them so that they will be able to refine their ideas and make them tighten up their elevator pitch, all of that. And then what's going to happen is, Steph, I'm going to bring you in with some other celebrities, and we're going to judge. We're going to put maybe 10 million on the table. 10 million on the table for this thing. This ain't no charity though. We beyond charity. Like Jay-Z said, we pass kneeling. Well, we pass charity. Black people are not a fucking charity case. Black people are an investment opportunity. We are not a charity case. So when you bring your 10 million, Steph, this is not 10 million that you're giving away. This is not a donation. Fuck a donation. We are not disabled. We are not little handicapped kids in the children's hospital. We are viable human beings. We are the original man. We are the greatest human beings on this planet, and we have the ability and the extraordinary ability to succeed, but we must be funded and capitalized. So we're going to drop 10 million on the table, and I'm telling you right now, the goal is to turn your 10 million into 50 million. You will be a richer man because you're participating. So I don't want you to do it just because you love the hood. I don't want you to do it strictly for your you know what. I want you to do it because you want to make money too. Right? That's how you form a coalition. That's how you form an economic code of conduct. Everybody must benefit from the participation in the coalition. You can't have one party providing all the resources and somebody else just draining the resources. That's not going to work. That's not a sustainable model. So then what we do is we pick the best ideas. We pick maybe the best 10 to 20 projects, and we fund them. We fund them to death. We make absolutely sure, I don't know who the hell's calling me. We make absolutely sure that they have all the resources that they need. They have all the contacts that they need. The ideas that come out of this are going to be so revolutionary that we can go on Instagram with all of your friends, and we can put stuff out there to 100 million people, 100 million potential customers who are going to see this idea that's been refined, that's come from the black community, that is this idea that is so lit that everybody's going to want to be a customer. Everybody's going to want to be a customer or to be an investor or come work for that company. It's going to be so lit that literally overnight, this company will be worth $50 million just on the marketing alone, just on the street rep alone. Companies can do that. Beyond Meat, that's a company Jay-Z's invested in. Beyond Meat, which I'm an investor in Beyond Meat too. Beyond Meat is on fire as a stock, not because Beyond Meat is making money. Beyond Meat really ain't making shit. They're only making like 1% of what their revenues are expected to be over the next decade, right? So they're not making that much money, but they have so much clout and momentum behind them that is ridiculous. And a lot of this is driven by the fact that people like Jay-Z came along and dropped money in those companies, and they then started tweeting about their investment, and now everybody wants to be down with Beyond Meat. That's why everybody is investing in that company. That's why the company's getting all this press. So we need to keep doing that same model. Just stop doing it for white people. Stop doing it for everybody else. Doesn't mean you can't partner with other people. I'm not saying that's your sellout for that. I'm just saying bring your best back home. Don't give your best to somebody else and then bring the garbage home to your community. Like, give your best to your community and let those motherfuckers have the garbage. Let somebody else have the sloppy seconds and the leftovers. We need to bring it back home. Everything needs to be brought back home. Do you know why China is now one of the wealthiest, most powerful nations on the earth? Do you know why? China used to be a laughingstock. China went from being the New York Knicks to becoming the Golden State Warriors when it comes to economics. How did they do that transformation? How did they pull that that off? Well, they had leadership that formed a 100-year plan for that community, and they also basically started telling people that you only matter to China if you bring your talents back to China. When you bring your wealth back to China, then you are a good Chinese citizen. When you bring your best back to China, then you down with us. If you are a great Chinese person and you taking your best over to America, then fuck you. If you a brilliant Chinese scientist and you're taking all your knowledge over to another country, well, fuck you. If you're a billionaire and you're investing all your money in other countries, well, then fuck you too. No, the Chinese said that the measure of quality citizenship of a Chinese person is what are you contributing to China. So I say to you black people, this is my point. This is where we're going with this damn thing. I say to you black people that the measure of your quality as a black citizen, as an African American or black person in the diaspora around the world is, are you bringing your best back to your people? Are you bringing your best back to your people, or are you giving your people sloppy seconds? Are you giving 40 hours a week to some big white corporation and then giving like an hour every Saturday to the black community? Well, that's why the black community is losing. A good parent doesn't say, well, I'm going to give the majority of my time to the children in the neighborhood, and then I'm going to give my child 2 hours a week. Well, your child going to end up crazy, a crackhead, and probably on the stripper pole. Your child is not going to get what they need if you're only giving them 2 hours a week. So your community struggles. You ask yourself, why do we have so many black celebrities, so many wealthy black people, but we have so many black people who are struggling, broke, in jail, can't get ahead, can't get jobs, the hood is broken down, you driving through talking about, I'm from Marcy Projects, but Marcy Projects is still all fucked up. Well, then apparently Marcy Projects, if it is still fucked up, again, I haven't been to Marcy Projects, maybe we can go visit, maybe things have changed, maybe I'm wrong, but if Marcy Projects is still all fucked up and you can't point to a 1,000 examples of why Marcy Projects is better because of your success, then I'm going to wonder, like, so what's the point? What's the benefit? Why are you repping and using the street cred of Marcy Projects when Marcy Projects is not better? Marcy Projects shouldn't be the projects anymore, right? Because you're a billionaire, right? I mean, Manny Pacquiao, who used to fight Floyd Mayweather. If you go to Manny Pacquiao's old neighborhood, Manny Pacquiao can probably show you like 1,000 houses that he built. Like Manny Pacquiao will show you how the entire hood benefited from his success, not just him and a couple of cronies, right? So it's not to disrespect or diss anybody. It probably sounds like I am, but I'm really not trying to do that. I'm really just trying to get you to care about yourself a little bit more. Have some self-esteem. Shit, have some balls, have some dignity. Let's have some common sense in this thing. If it ain't coming back, if it ain't coming black, then you need to send it back. Seriously, like if it ain't impacting the people that you love, then what does your success matter anyway? It means nothing. It means almost nothing. Okay, so by the way, hit the thumbs up button, by the way. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please hit the thumbs up button. Also, if you want to know where I'm going to Atlanta. So I'll be in Atlanta this weekend. If you want to come out to the investment seminar, I'm going to do a book signing on Friday. I'm speaking at the We Buy Black convention for 30 minutes on Saturday. And then I'm doing an 8-hour investment seminar on Sunday. So if you really want to learn investing and all that stuff, you can go to drboyceatlanta.com. That's drboyceatlanta.com. And also, don't forget, just to remind you guys, we have financial flashcards and workbooks that we created specifically for black children. So these are great tools that you can use to implement some of the things that we talk about. I'm not just going to tell you what to do. I'm going to give you the tools to do it. So feel free to go to financialworkbooks.com. That's financialworkbooks.com. So please hit the thumbs up button. I wish I could read your comments. If it looks like I'm ignoring you, it's not good. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just trying not to like die because I'm trying to drive. But and plus I'm actually a little bit late for the air. I should have left a long time ago. But anyway, I think with Jay-Z and this ownership thing, I think that Jay, I'm really kind of wondering why Jay did not refute the rumor that he was going to be an owner. Like, why didn't you, if this was not true from the jump, why didn't you refute it in the beginning? I'm sure you have a spokesperson. Your spokesperson could have said, I'm sorry, it's not true. Jay is not going to be an owner. Also, why was the deal not made transparent? I think the deal should have been made transparent. Also, because then that would have cleared things up for people. I think that what people, and I think Stephen A mentioned that, maybe Stephen A said it didn't have to be transparent, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember what Stephen A said. Stephen A says a lot. But I think that what part of the debate was, do you give him the benefit of the doubt? Like, do you assume that this partnership is really going to be beneficial to the black community, or do you just kind of, expect him to show you more evidence of that? I like evidence. I kind of think that, if it's that straightforward, then show me. And I think also what I really don't like about these social justice initiatives is that, the NFL's putting some real money behind this thing, apparently $89 million or something like that. I think that's great. I think it's a start, right? It's good. But I think that we got to stop looking at the black community in the hood as a charity case. Like, stop looking at us like, oh, well, we want to improve the black community. Well, let's come up with a program. Fuck a program, man. I'm serious. I'm not disabled. The black men, young black men and young black women are not, a charity case. They're just not. Like, they're not, like a third world country that just needs, like, you to donate food. That's what, that type of shit is for people who are either disabled or who are elderly or children. If you're disabled, you're elderly, or you're a child, then yes, you need donations. If you are able-bodied and intelligent, meaning your brain just works on even an average fundamental level, then people like that don't need charity. They need investment. Go look up a documentary. It's on YouTube. It's called Poverty Inc. Go look up the documentary Poverty Inc. Poverty Inc. basically talks about how all this bullshit charity that people like to do, especially for like black communities or people in the diaspora or third world countries, all that charity ain't nothing but a poverty hustle. It's all, when they talk about the term poverty pimp, that really is a real term with real implications. Like, there's real life application of this idea, where you have people that build a whole industry around the fact that there are people that are always going to struggle. They're always going to be destitute. They're always going to be left out, marginalized, incapable of moving forward. Poverty Inc. actually shows how the creation of these charitable organizations keeps third world countries poor, deliberately so. What's one example of how they do that? Let me explain. It's very simple to actually understand this. So I'm like this. I'm like some white guy or a charity or something, and I need a hustle. I need income, right? So what I might do is I might go to a third world country, take some pictures of like some starving children with flies on their face and shit, bellies popped out because they can't eat. And I'm going to basically give people poverty porn. I'm going to put these images out. I'm going to go to fancy dinners with white people who have a guilt complex, who are feeling guilty because they're rich or whatever. And I'm going to show them pictures of starving little kids in third world countries. And I'm going to say, if you care about these children, make a donation, give money to me. Now, so then what happens is, so I get this money. Now I'm going to take a fee for this, right? Because I'm an administrator, so of course I should be paid, right? Doesn't mean I'm being overpaid, but I am being paid for my labor. Okay, fine. So I've created a job for myself. Now, what do I do with this money? What do I do with this money? Am I going to go to that country and talk to the leaders in those communities and say, here, I raised $1 billion for you. Take this money, go build a factory so that you can produce the products that you need and develop an economy. I'm not doing that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my money and I'm going to go to my friends who don't live in third world countries. They live in like France or something. And I'm going to go to my friends in France and I'm going to say, I raised $1 billion for these poor kids in third world countries. And we're going to give them shoes because, poor kids need shoes and it makes you feel better. It'll alleviate your white guilt for all the wealth, the trillions in wealth you've stolen from these people, if you just go give them like new shoes. And so the person in France says, but my factory, it costs us $2 per pair to make these shoes. So, and the retail price is $100 a pair. So the charity says, no problem, we'll pay you $100 a pair for these shoes if you will make a bunch of shoes and go dump them on the poor kids in this African country. So all of that money that comes in, like if you ever wonder like where the wealth goes, like when the Clinton Foundation raised all that money for Haiti, but Haiti was still fucked up. Wasn't nothing getting built in Haiti, wasn't nothing getting done in Haiti, but they were raising all this money for Haiti by using poverty porn. Well, that's kind of what happens. A lot of people, everybody gets rich from the hustle, except for the people who actually are supposed to be the beneficiaries of that money. So they'll go and he'll pay his friend in France $1 billion to go make some overpriced shoes, and those shoes will then get dumped on the kids in Africa or wherever, and they get to go back to the dinner the next year and say, we gave 10,000 pairs of shoes to kids in Africa, and they show the little smiling black kids wearing like new sneakers and shit, and they then say, give us more money because next year we're going to buy them shirts or whatever, right? And it's the same hustle over and over and over again, when really, if you really wanted to empower those communities, and this is what applies to the black community too, if you really wanted to empower those communities, then you would understand one important fundamental financial principle. Now again, I'm putting on my black finance professor hat right now, because you guys know I that's what I do. That's my thing. That I've taught this stuff for 25 years. If you really want to empower those communities, what you do is you don't give them charity only. Some charity, sure, absolutely. Charity's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. But what you do is you focus your energy on investment. You invest heavily in those communities, and you let the people in those communities become the primary beneficiaries of that investment, the owners of that capital. So what I would do, if I really wanted to help people in a third world country, here's what I would do. I would say, what you need is, you really don't need just charity. What you need is you need an economy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some experts at a round table that are going to help us to figure out, like, once we raise this $1 billion, how can we best create a sustainable economy within your country? We're going to invite your people to the table. You're going to be the teachers. We'll be the students. We'll just lend our support and our expertise. And then what's going to happen is we're going to figure out, what training do you need to know how to build a factory that makes microchips that you can export around the world? Or is there information you need about farming, where you can farm better? And then what we do is, after we teach you farming or whatever, how to build your factory, we're going to go ahead and take this $1 billion and give it to you to go build your factory. We're going to give this $1 billion to you so you can go buy whatever products and seeds and machines that you need to become better farmers, so you can compete in the global economy. And then at that point, what happens is it takes a life of its own. See, the same thing is true with your family and your children. If you're doing charity for your loved ones, that's a good way to go broke. If all you're doing is charity. A lot of NBA players that go broke, they don't go broke because they're stingy or because they're stupid all the time. A lot of times they go broke because they're so damn generous, and they're paying everybody's rent, and there's nothing replacing that money that's being paid out. With that example I gave you with Steph Curry, mind you, pay attention. The example I gave you with Steph Curry building up the hood was not an example where I was asking Steph Curry to make a donation. Fuck a donation. I don't want your charity. I was asking him to make an investment so that his 10 million can become 50 million, so that he has an even greater capacity for investment at the next stage. You cannot build a sustainable black community when the people that are helping to build the community, providing the resources, are going to be drained because they're giving. People get tired of that. You can't, I don't know if y'all ever know that feeling of trying to carry every damn relative on your back. It's hard damn work. So what I think is that if we understand, not what I think, what I know, is that if we understand what it takes to build economies, then people can come in and say, I'm not going to give charity to the hood. I'm going to come and invest in the hood. I'm going to take care of me and mine because I need to be taken care of so that I can give more back. Like even when I have my relationship with you guys, I've had criticism for this where people have been like, well, Doc, everything that you do should be free. And I'm like, no, because if I have to quit everything I'm doing to go work for a white man because I got to go beg for a job now, then I can't be effective for you. I can't be the Dr. Boyce Watkins that you know if I'm out here working at Macy's or Target or the University of White people in order to pay my bills. No, I'm asking you to help us to pay the bills around here so we can pay our team, so we can pay for these venues and pay for $60, $70, $80,000 a month in expenses to run this organization. And what we're going to do is we're going to let you flip your money by making sure that you're more empowered in the end. So you empower us so we can empower you. But you must maintain the core if you want the externalities to continue to benefit, meaning that you must maintain the apple tree if you want to keep getting your apples. You cannot keep taking apples from a tree where the tree is getting no water. You must sustain the thing from which it comes. Or like in a household, you see mothers that will wear themselves out wear themselves down, like to the bone, to the core, to the point where she's dying of some disease because she's never taken care of herself because she's so busy taking care of everybody else. But if you're smart though, you'll be like, wait a minute, we love mama and we need to take care of mama first because mama's the one taking care of everybody else. So mama needs to be at the top of the list of people that you take care of, not at the bottom of the list. But that's what we'll do. We'll put mama at the bottom of the list, and then mama done wore herself out, wore herself down, done got old. You know, she's 50 years old, feeling like she's 80 because she has been through all of this hell trying to take care of so many other people, and nobody ever said, how's mama doing? How can I put some money in mama's pocket? Can I go cut mama's grass? Can I send mama to the spa? Can I give mama a couple of days off? And then next thing you know, you ain't got no mama. Next thing you know, mama's dead because mama, you literally drove the car till the wheels fell off because you never stopped to put oil in the car or to give the car maintenance. So what I'm saying is that the economic engines must be maintained. That's my point. So the people that I'm asking to become economic engines in the black community, I'm talking about the celebrities and the entertainers and all the people out here that came from the hood, that love to talk about how they from the hood, but unfortunately aren't doing anything relevant or meaningful for the hood. You know, I would say to those individuals, look, you are the economic engines, and I'm going to vote to maintain you first. I'm going to be the one who says, I don't want Steph Curry or Jay-Z or anybody to just step out here and do a bunch of stuff for black community where the black community isn't taking care of them. Like, it's supposed to be a reciprocal, symbiotic relationship, and that's how good economies work. So give me a second, guys. I'm trying to go this way to get to the airport. All right, guys. So anyway, I'm gonna go. I've done enough yapping for today. I hope you guys have a good day, and thank you for the donation. I can't see your name, but I see the donation in there, and I really appreciate that very, very much. Also, do this if you want to come hang out with us in Atlanta. All you gotta do is go to drboyceatlanta.com. That's drboyceatlanta.com. And also, if you want to sign up for our investing class or something like that, feel free to go to theblackstockmarketprogram.com. THE, that's theblackstockmarketprogram.com. We talk about stock market investing every single week, and I think you're gonna like it a lot. So anyway, I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day, and I'll see you soon. Let me get out of here so I can make sure I don't get lost. Be good. Peace.